Welcome back to the Go&Do podcast. This is episode 8. We got Jenika Weaver here to my left. She served in, pronounce your mission because I'm not going to be able to.
Okay, I served in the Guatemala Quetzaltenango Mission.
Wow. Yeah, so good luck with that one. But we'll just get right into it because we've already spent a lot of time in the preamble. Take us through your thoughts, Jenika, when you first opened your call. Did you even know how to pronounce whatever you just said?
Okay, that's actually what I was going to say. I did not know how to pronounce it at all. And I actually had to look it up a couple times to be able to actually pronounce it. And then I still fumbled in my mission call opening. So, no, I cannot. I also did not know where Guatemala even was on the map. But I was really excited when I saw that it was Spanish speaking. I had always wanted to serve a Spanish speaking mission and to go out of the country. So overall, I was really happy. I had no idea where I was going, but I was really excited.
Okay, good stuff.
So tell us a little about where you're from and just that transition first to the MTC.
Okay, yeah. So I am from Utah, obviously. And I went to the Mexico MTC. It was really awesome. I feel like the transition wasn't super hard because in the MTC you're kind of inside the whole time. You don't really get to see very much of the culture. Even though there obviously is a little bit. But I think the biggest transition was just like the schedules, having to get up, do your studies, go to classes, lots and lots of time in classes. But it was awesome. I loved the Mexico MTC.
That's what we've heard from a lot of like Spanish speaking missionaries. Like compared to English MTC, we didn't have as many classes as you guys. It feels like you guys were in classes all freaking day.
Yeah,
All day long.
it's like
That's
boot
crazy.
camp.
Yeah.
No, it's tough. So I have a question. My brother served in Ecuador, and one thing that we learned pretty early on his mission is that like you can't really send packages South America. And so for packing, I mean, as far as like getting the mission and kind of getting a feel for things, is there anything that you're grateful that you brought that wasn't necessarily on like the mission packing list, or is there anything that you feel like you wish you'd brought with you? You know?
Okay, so I had prepared to go to like the jungle. Like I
On
had
some
brought
Rambo?
So
Yeah.
much shampoo.
Like Rambo.
conditioner. Yeah, like seriously. I brought like 30 toothbrushes. Like I thought there was gonna be nothing out there. So I had everything.
Wow.
Hey, that's props to you though. That's
Do you recommend doing that?
No.
Okay.
okay.
No, absolutely not. In Guatemala there was a lot of resources. They had a lot of
They have toothbrushes.
Yeah, they had
Okay,
toothbrushes.
perfect.
Yes, not like the same brands or anything, but they did have toothbrushes.
Okay.
So I think I definitely overpacked. Something I would not recommend doing. I feel like if you have like certain things that you need, like things that like a certain shampoo that you cannot live without, I would bring it. But other than that, there's stuff that you can get down there. Yeah, I feel like I definitely overpacked.
Okay. Good stuff.
So like leading on, on top of that, leading into like entering your mission, what was the first day actually? Let's just hear about the first day.
Okay, so the very first day that I got to the mission, the airport was actually 5 hours away from my mission home. The airport's in Guatemala City, and Quetzaltenango is like the second biggest city in Guatemala.
Let me just take a stab at it.
I don't think
Okay.
I think we
Quetzaltenango?
Quetzaltenango?
No, Quetzaltenango.
Quetzaltenango.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
there is like it's like a mango
Quetzaltenango?
at the end.
Yeah.
Quetzaltenango.
Quetzaltenango.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's tough.
Yeah. There you go.
So it was like 5 hours away.
5 hours away, and the traffic there is insane. There's just a bunch of motorcycles. Everybody goes way too fast. They just kind of cut in. And so I was kind of horrified. I was the only American out of everybody. And so
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did not speak very much Spanish. I was mortified. I almost
Wow.
cried because they gave us McDonald's. I was so excited.
Hey,
I haven't been out for
nice.
6 weeks.
Okay.
But when I got to the mission home, we met our mission president. They let us call our parents for like a minute just to let them know that we were still alive. And they took us over to the temple. We were there for a second. And then we had dinner with the mission president.
Where's the temple at?
It's also in Quetzaltenango.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, got you.
Yes.
Continue.
And then we just stayed the night at the mission president's house.
Okay. And then you woke up. I'm guessing that's when you met your trainer and all that stuff. Just take us through all those like first impressions of meeting your trainer and like the seeing like the mission, and like what you were about to do, what was going through your head, what were some of your impressions there?
Okay, yeah. So when I met my trainer, I loved the way that they did it in our mission because they had us line up like back to back. And they would call out your name and you had to like walk backwards and then you'd like kind of hit your back with your trainer and then you'd turn around. And,
Oh.
like,
I've never heard that.
That's
It
kind of
was
cool.
so fun. And so when I met her, I was so excited because
was she native or?
No, she was from
Okay.
Idaho, and so I was
No.
so excited.
Shout out Idaho.
Hey.
Yes, because she actually could speak to me and I could understand her, so it was awesome.
So were you the only like American like in your transfer?
Yeah, like in my group.
Okay, I thought you meant all of Guatemala. I was like, oh yeah,
No.
that's crazy.
No, yeah.
That's
So,
sick though.
Yes, I met her. She's so awesome. My area was like 10 minutes away, so we just got in an Uber. They have Uber in Guatemala, that was interesting.
Yeah,
yeah.
didn't know that.
And when we got to our house, it was like a little apartment, so small, seriously, so tiny. Had like one room, a tiny little bathroom, and then just our desks. And when I walked in there, I was like, oh boy. I was kind of prepared for like the culture change. I don't feel like I had like culture shock, but it definitely was really different. But Guatemala is so beautiful.
Okay, nice.
Tell us a little bit about just like what it was like your first area. Just like, was it city? Were you out in the boonies? What was it kind of like?
Was it the jungle
that
you
way? Or
expected?
the jungle, yeah.
No, not yet. Not the jungle yet.
Okay.
So we
not
started
yet.
out in the city. We started out in Quetzaltenango. It was like 5 minutes from the mission home. It was actually a little dangerous because we had like the terminal right there in our area, but it was really small, the area as well.
The terminal.
Yeah, the bus terminal.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Didn't know what that was.
The bus
I
terminal.
figured, but
Yes.
didn't know if I was missing something.
Okay, so what was that like? You said you were kind of prepared. You weren't really like culture shocked. Was there anything that shocked you about like Quetzaltenango, or was it just kind of like,
Quetzaltenango?
or was it just like, okay, this is kind of what I expected. Like this isn't too bad.
I think I went into it just expecting it to be like different. Like I don't think I had expectations, and I think that's what helped. Because when I got there, it definitely was really different. Like all the cars, they just ride in buses that fly down the street. There's dogs everywhere. And so I think having no expectations helped me a lot because I just got there and I was like, okay, this is how it is.
Yeah, smart.
Right away, what were some things that you noticed like Guatemalans love and like do for hobbies? Because I feel like one thing so far we've interviewed like a lot of elders that were like stateside, and like for me it was football and baseball. For these two is basketball. Like that's how you really connect with people. I'm just curious about Guatemala.
Right. Okay. So they love soccer.
Okay.
They love soccer. As far as like hobbies, I didn't notice anything that I could say like they all did, but most of like the ladies made tortillas and the guys just
Were they
watch soccer.
were they good tortillas though?
Yes. they were
Yeah,
really
like
good.
rancheritos. I eat those all day.
So in this area, just kind of talk to us a little bit about like the culture of the area. What did you do to find? Were you in a branch or a ward?
Okay. We were in a ward.
Okay.
And the thing that was really cool
Supportive
about
ward, or was it like?
yeah, they were pretty supportive.
Okay.
Yeah, they were. To find, we mostly knocked doors in this area.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Y'all do like was it clock outside the door?
Okay, so in this area, if they had a doorbell, you ring it. If not, you just kind of yell. You just hit them with a little buenas.
Do they have like ring doorbells out there?
Sometimes.
That's crazy, bro.
They have like an intercom kind of thing.
What?
Yeah, like you like.
Oh,
click it,
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a phone.
okay,
Inside.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So, learning the language, what point on your mission did you feel like you felt pretty comfortable with Spanish?
Probably never. No, I'm just kidding. I would say probably around like 6 months is when I could like get around. Yeah, I could understand enough and express myself enough that I was okay.
How did you kind of deal with in the first 6 months, the learning period of trying to learn Spanish, learn the language to communicate? How did you kind of deal with not being able to communicate as well as you probably wanted to with the people you're teaching?
I think it was kind of hard at the very beginning. It's you in the MTC, you feel like you kind of got it down, and then you get out there and you're like, this is not the same language that they taught me. And there were a couple hard times where like a couple members would like ask my companion like, do you like her? Like you can tell us because she doesn't understand. And I was like wanting to die.
That's crazy.
Could you understand?
No, the sad part is no, I can't.
Oh, your trainer
So they,
just
like,
had,
tell
or
you-
your
Like,
companion had to tell you later. Oh
Yeah, my
man.
trainer
Dang.
afterwards was like, they were asking me if I liked you. But I think the biggest thing that
I said no.
Yeah.
No, the biggest thing that I did to just kind of get over that was just to like really focus on every moment, every interaction that we had. Just like sometimes I would kind of zone out, and so I tried not to do that because if you don't understand, it gets boring, and you just kind of like existing. So I just tried to like really put my energy into trying to translate and figure out what was going on.
Makes
That's
sense.
smart. Yeah.
Awesome.
In this first area, so you knocked a lot of doors. Was there any other sources of finding you guys did? Like, did you work with members much, or was there any social media or anything like that? And follow up to that, if there was social media, did you guys like share a phone, or did you have 2 phones, or how did that work?
Okay, so I didn't have Facebook my whole mission.
Oh, really?
We didn't do anything as far as social media. We both had a phone, and it was just like normal. We both had our phones. We could take it with us everywhere. Sometimes we just had to be careful, but no, we didn't have social media. We had 2 phones. And yeah, most of the time we just knocked doors, and sometimes we'd go to like the parks. The people
Just
in
like street
Guatemala,
contact them.
Okay. Yeah, they just are always outside, and so you can just
Yeah.
find them.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, do they? Because my brother, like I said, was in Ecuador, and they're like consumed like by media and stuff like that. Like they love their anime and stuff. I was gonna ask, like, in Guatemala, what do you think it would have been not more effective, but could it have been an effective use, like if you had a phone and social media, or no?
In my mission, there was a ton of different every city was just like a different culture. It was like a
Oh,
completely
okay.
different country.
Interesting.
Yeah, so in some areas, definitely, we had like a mission page where like people could, and we got a lot of references from Facebook. But as far as like, I feel like it probably wouldn't, at least in most of my areas, it wouldn't have been super effective.
Okay,
Interesting.
gotcha. Yeah. Well, on that note, I mean, you said that most areas are completely different, like going to a different country, you said?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I served in Denver, and the cool thing about that, I mean, unless you're in downtown Denver, pretty much everywhere else you get transferred, you're only like 30 minutes away from your last area, and it's like all the same. So, I mean, did that create more struggle, you think, getting transferred? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. I think for me, it was more fun. I just loved
Okay.
like knowing that it was a new adventure. And so,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's how you have to tackle it, right? Like, you can't view it as like, oh, I'm starting over in this area. You have to like just build upon your last area and what you did.
Mhm.
I'm curious to know what about that first area was special, like from all the other areas, because obviously they're all so different. Was it the ward? Like, did you get fed a lot in that area, or like was it the people? Was it the culture? Like, what was it about that area that was like very cool? And this was your starting area in
Mhm.
what was it called again?
It was called Minerva.
Minerva. Okay.
Yep, Minerva. I think one of the reasons that I like remember it the most was like the people. The people were so awesome. They were so welcoming, and they were so patient with me. The bishop countless times was like, just try to talk to us, even though I
Mhm.
couldn't. And so they were always there. They gave us gifts all the time. They were so awesome.
Wow. So a pretty supportive ward.
Mhm.
How often did you get fed?
Throughout most of my mission, actually probably all of it, we got fed every day.
Wow. Okay.
Is it
But
like
lunch.
rice and bananas, or is it like carne asada? No, because my friend that was in Ecuador, bro, she was just literally rice and bananas. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, it was a lot of rice, but it was mostly like rice and chicken. Or what they do a lot is like beans and eggs and plantains.
Mm.
Okay, so I was
Always-
with her for the rice and chicken. I
Yeah.
don't know if I could do that plantain thing.
Oh, it's so
I like
good.
plantains.
They're so good.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I never had them, so I can't.
All
All right, we'll make you some.
All right.
Yeah, we'll have to make you some.
So what was like your favorite meal that you got fed?
Definitely the beans and eggs and plantains.
Wow.
It was
Okay.
so good.
Beans,
Switch
eggs,
up.
and
What kind of beans are we
plantains.
talking?
Fred.
They're black beans,
Okay.
and they would make them. Sometimes they would be like, I don't even know. Sometimes they'd just be like the whole black bean. You know what I mean? And sometimes they would be like,
Okay.
how would you say that?
Like mashed.
Beans?
Yeah, mashed black beans.
Bro, I don't know. She's talking about the whole bean. What's the whole?
I like she's
Are you talking
asking
about whole bean,
us
like one of the
about her mission
Yeah.
and like what they did.
Like they-
Yeah, like we know what's in Quetzaltenango, bro.
Yeah. Queso-Tenango.
Casablanca.
That's why I said it like this.
Queso-Tenango? Oh, boy.
No, but like think of like you go to Costa Vida and they're like black beans or pinto beans. And
Uh-huh.
it has like the whole bean.
Well, yes.
Like that. It would be like
I feel like that's just bean
That's
though.
just beans, right?
yeah, so they would
This
be
is
So,
well, sometimes they'd be like that, and sometimes they'd be like.
like you want half
blended.
a bean? Okay,
Oh,
blended.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
disgusting.
That's pretty much like mashed beans
Yeah.
in my mind.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
either mashed or it's whole. And they would do a mashed.
Are there
Yeah.
blenders out there?
They
Like,
do have
got-
blenders.
Okay, they got like appliances and stuff.
Yes, they do.
Cool.
Sometimes.
Cool.
Sometimes. Okay.
Sometimes.
I'm curious to know, when we interviewed somebody from Chile, he said there was like a pensionista. Is that like a cross, like culture thing? Like, did you have anything like that? Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, so it's probably not a
A
thing.
servant.
Essentially, it was like
Okay,
a
yeah.
servant for them. Not a servant, but like a servant. Like, she just made them lunch every day.
Their laundry.
She was always there, like, to do their laundry, to kind of keep them, like, not worrying about some of those things. Did you have
Right.
anything like that in Guatemala?
Never.
Nothing. Okay, awesome.
Did your own laundry? Did your
Next
Okay.
question.
How do you do your laundry?
By hand. They have a thing that's called a pila. It's basically just like a big tub, and then it has two sides. One side has like the little like bumps, and on the
Yeah,
other side is
okay.
like flat. And so
Yeah.
one side they do their dishes in, and the other side you wash your clothes.
Okay, sick.
Did anyone have a washer and dryer?
Just the APs.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
No,
Wow.
there was a
That's low.
couple houses, a few, but I never had one.
Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Were all of the apartments you stayed in pretty similar to your first one? Pretty small?
Yes, some of them were like a little bit bigger, but I would say like as far as they were all like the same vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that first apartment you walked in, I was gonna ask earlier, was it a pretty much a good representation of what the rest of the apartments were like across the mission? Just like very tiny, very small, kind of cramped.
I feel like that one was probably my smallest house.
Okay.
The rest of them were a little bit bigger, and it was pretty different because it wasn't an apartment. The rest of them, we just kind of rented like a house, or we would live like above or below like people in like their
Oh,
house.
cool.
Okay.
Mhm.
Interesting. Were those most of the time members, or was it
Yeah,
just random
sometimes
people? Okay, sometimes.
Mhm.
Okay.
So if you had to recommend a pair of shoes to anybody,
Doc Martens.
Dog Martens. Okay.
Oh, dogs.
All the way.
That's the choice
Oh
to
my
trek.
gosh.
That is
There it is.
I love me my dogs.
yes, 100%.
Okay, so take us to your next area now. What was that next area called? What was it like?
Okay, I got transferred to an area that's called Malacatancito.
Wow. Oh goodness.
Yes.
Good job. Okay.
So it was in a different city that's actually called Huehuetenango. So it was a little. It was
Huehue?
about 3 hours. Yeah.
Huehue is
It's
tough.
kind of tough.
Huehue, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was about 3 hours from my first area.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Wait, so how big was your mission? Like top to bottom, east, west, north, south? Like.
Okay, so in my very last area, it was the biggest. It was 5 hours from like the mission home, and my area was
Holy
probably
cow.
8 hours from the bottom to the top. So I would say like our mission was probably like you could probably get like 12 to 14 hours if you like drove from the top to the bottom.
No
Wow.
way.
Dude, I feel like I hear that about every Spanish mission.
Yeah, I guess.
Spanish, sorry, South American mission. What the heck? But
I
yeah,
don't know.
Central America.
Yeah.
Central America. Okay, gotcha. Yep, my fault.
No,
She
you're
knows
good,
where
you're good.
Guatemala is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
my
do know.
fault.
She does. She can point it out on the map. So wow, that's a big mission.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in your next area, and yeah, just go ahead. Tell us what it was like.
Yeah. Okay, so this one was a branch. And this area was actually really small. It was like a little teeny tiny town, like a village. And the building was actually out of like a house that they had bought, that they had renovated to be like a church. The work there was really, really hard. I was only there for about like 4 weeks before I got emergency transferred.
Your fault?
Huh?
Your fault? No, I'm just
No. No, but I was with a native companion. She was from El Salvador. She was so sweet. And so it was really fun. I feel like that's where I kind of started to learn more like how to be a missionary, and then like definitely with the language and stuff.
For sure. And what was the ward like there? What was the people like there? Very similar. Lots of door knocking, tracking stuff, and a little support from the ward, or what?
Yeah, so in Malacatancito, in our branch, we kind of had support from like 2 people.
Really?
Yeah. It was like 2 people that would like come out and visit with us, but we were kind of on our own. It kind of struggled. There was like maybe 10, 15 people that came to church every week. And so it was just kind of us. It was a lot of like reactivation more than it was like looking for people. And when we did find people, Guatemala, they're very Catholic, and especially in like that area. So they just had already been like born Catholic, they're going to die Catholic,
Yes.
and they didn't want anything.
Tradition mostly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've kind of an interesting question. I feel like in the missions we've talked to that are in the States, when you're like out finding and knocking doors, the prime time to like talk to people and like find the most people that are home and ready to talk is like 4 to 9. Is it similar where you're at too? Where like 4 to 9 was the best time to talk to most people, or was it throughout the day? What was it like?
I would say throughout like all of my mission and most of my areas, yeah, it was like the same, kind of 4 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense. I was
Yeah.
just curious because I know in some South American or Central American missions that it's just like we're home throughout.
Yeah.
So
You can go whenever you want.
Yeah.
Well, there's also
Interesting.
missions like I know Rome or like places in Europe or Asia, like they literally have like a dead hour. Like they all go home and like they nap for like an hour, and then they go back out and like work. And like that's what the missionaries do. They just go home and that's like their study hour or whatever. So that's a good question because I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So this is your second area. How many areas did you serve in?
9, I think.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So how long were
I
you in
think
the
so.
second area for?
For 4 weeks.
That's right.
Oh, and then you got ET too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where'd you go next?
Yeah. Where'd you go next?
I went
Talk to us about that.
more into Huehue. I went to an area that was called Calvario, and I was actually there for 5.5 months.
Oh,
6.
okay.
Okay.
So that's like what, 5 transfers?
3.
Wait, how long were you there?
5.5 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so 4 transfers is
Yeah,
6
like
months.
6 months, yeah.
4?
Yeah, 3
Okay.
transfers and then that week that I got.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Dope.
And is that the point in your mission where you started to feel a little more comfortable with the language? Is that about your like 6-month mark, like towards the back end of that area?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
At what point did you become like a senior companion?
In my 3rd transfer when I got emergency transferred.
Okay, so that's your current, the way. That's the way.
Yes.
Okay, sick.
Uh-huh.
So that would make sense.
And were
that
you
she's
with
more
someone that already spoke Spanish, or? Okay.
Yeah, my companion was from Honduras.
Okay.
Oh, so you're a native.
Yes.
So did that help you with your language or hurt you with your language? Like,
It definitely helped. She had an accent that was just unbelievable. I could not understand her.
Really?
And so, yeah, it was kind of hard at first, especially because my first companion, she spoke like very basic. Like it was just like the way that I could understand. And this other companion did not care. She was like, I'm going to talk to you how I speak. And I was just like, okay.
That's so tough.
Yeah, so it was hard at the beginning, but at about like a week or so, we were good.
yeah. We had a guy that we interviewed, again, that Chile missionary, and he said he had a companion that spoke so fast that nobody could understand him, like even the natives there, but he could. Do you feel like you ever had to like translate for her with that like accent, the Honduras accent a little bit? Like did people understand her very well, or did you have to like kind of step in sometimes?
I think sometimes I did kind of have to step in. And that was the interesting thing too sometimes is I didn't understand how she couldn't express herself when she like spoke the language.
Yeah.
But she also kind of like flipped like her sentences. In Spanish, you can kind of do that. Like in
Yeah, yeah.
English, you have like a set like way, like you'd say like the subject.
subject,
and then,
but yeah,
But in
mhm.
Spanish, you can just kind of like throw that around however you want. But she just did that, but like really weird. And so sometimes it was hard for people to understand her. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
The same person we had on podcasts in learning Spanish, that he focused more on just learning vocab basically, because he said something similar, that like the structure of the sentence didn't matter that much.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of how you focus on learning language too, was just vocab, or did you focus in a lot on trying to structure it like properly, or is it just like vocab for you?
Okay, so this is actually one of my biggest regrets of the mission is that after I was with my trainer, I like never picked up a Spanish book again. I only had 2 American companions, my very first companion and my very last companion. So from there it was just kind of listening and then like speaking. I wish I would have focused more on like grammar, like towards the end, but definitely vocab at first.
Okay. So how long you were in this area for? You said like 4 transfers, right? In like a week or whatever.
3 transfers in.
Okay. And how was the ward there, and how was the culture there? Because you said again they're all so different. So what made this one different than the other ones?
Yeah, the ward there was awesome. Again, the people in Guatemala are just so amazing. They helped us a lot. That's where I kind of found like a family in Guatemala. And so that was really, really awesome. It was really different because Shayla is also the nickname for Quetzaltenango.
Shayla?
Yeah, Shayla.
Oh, that's a lot easier.
Yeah. Sorry.
Should have led with that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Guatemala
Right.
Shayla.
Yeah.
But there it's like really big city. It's just kind of like similar. They use more like social media and stuff like that. In Huehue, it's kind of like a city, but it's smaller. Life's a little slower. The roads are way worse, and they just are just kind of, they're a happier people. And so I think I definitely noticed that they were a lot more willing to listen to us. They definitely were more willing to let us in their houses. And so yeah, we saw a lot of progress there. It was awesome.
Great.
So 5.5 months there, pretty much, give or take. What's your next area?
Then I went back to Shayla, back to Quetzaltenango.
Back, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I was in a branch a ward, that's called Las Rosas. I was only there for 1 transfer, but yeah, I was there. It was freezing cold. I was with another really hard companion, and it was a little difficult because that area had kind of been ran through a lot. It was really small. It was a bunch of like the colonies, like gated communities, and so it was really hard to like be able to get in. and teach.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So why were you there for only one transfer? Did you guys move? I mean, you had 9 areas, so you had to move a lot, but like, was that pretty typical? Like one transfer, 2 transfers, or did it just kind of happen that way?
Yeah, so I had 2 areas where I did 3 transfers, and then other than that, it was just 1 or 2.
Really? Okay.
I didn't know it got cold in Central
I was
America.
about to ask about the
Because I'm
weather.
just looking up. I just had to look up where Guatemala was. But I actually, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, what was the weather like?
Okay, so it's kind of similar here, but it's just they have their like hot season and their winter and then like rainy season. So like their hot season lasts about like 4 months, and then the rest is just rain, and then it just like is rain and really cold.
Wow.
Like how
So a
cold?
lot of rain.
I'm guessing it's very humid.
I didn't really notice it. I think it was.
Okay.
When we went back with my family, they were talking about how humid it was.
Okay.
So yeah.
Which, yeah, she just visited her mission a few weeks ago with her family.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so
So
sick.
cool.
That's awesome.
But anyway.
Was that after you got back, or did they pick you up there?
No, I came home for a week and then went back.
Okay.
That's so fun. So I have a question about, I can't believe I haven't asked this yet. How did you get around? Did you have bikes? Were you on foot? Was it public transit? Like a car?
Doc Martens, baby.
Yeah, just
Docs
those
in a
dogs.
dream?
Yeah.
Okay.
We walked. We only walked.
That was it.
That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, there was some.
Was there public transportation? Like, is that an option, or is that just not a safe option or reliable option? All of the
Uh-huh.
above?
Yeah, so the public transport is how we got around for transfers and stuff. They're just like school buses that they stole from America, painted them like whatever color they felt like, and fly like 80 miles an hour down the highway. They're really, really fun. They're
Yeah.
definitely not
Sounds like a
safe.
roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Old
definitely-
buses. Old school buses.
Stolen.
That's awesome.
Right. It wasn't like super safe, but it wasn't like that we couldn't use it. And then the other thing is like in some of my other areas that were further away, we used tuk-tuks, which are like, I think they call them motor taxis. They're like the trike cars.
Okay.
That's
pretty
sick.
cool.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
other than that, we walked.
Okay.
Do you have an estimate of like how much you walked today? I don't know if you ever like tracked it and you were curious like how many steps you took.
I definitely should have done that, but I
No.
did not.
Ah.
Because
Too
the
much.
summer sales, it's like, I
It's
don't
like
know.
we gotta track our steps.
Yeah, we have to.
Whoever
It's
gets the
like
most.
15,000.
I feel like, yeah, that's really interesting that you were getting around only on foot, like no
Mhm.
bikes. Was that like a safety thing more than anything, or like what was that? There's got to be a reason you couldn't use anything else, really.
I heard that like an elder had broken his arm on a bike like a year before I'd gotten there. So they did have bikes before, but yeah, they didn't have that anymore. And to drive, it was just too dangerous.
Crazy that one elder.
One elder called it.
I biffed it like 6 times on my bike.
Well, I'm sure that it happened before
Yeah,
a couple
yeah,
times,
yeah.
but
I mean, that was the
that's what
last
I
straw.
heard. Yeah, no more
Yeah.
bikes after that.
Yeah.
Did you feel like safe throughout your mission, or was it a dangerous place? Did you feel like scared sometimes?
There were a couple times, but other than that, I genuinely felt really safe all the time.
So you're pretty far in your mission here, and I guess you're in your, what area are we in now? Fourth area?
Yes.
Okay, so, excuse me, in this 4th area, you've had companions, you've had wards, you've had all these things. I'm sure there was struggles up to this point,
Mm-hmm.
and specifically for companions, like, and especially for, an American going out and having all these native companions, I'm sure there was like some cultural differences.
Mm-hmm.
How were you able to like get through some of those difficult situations with your companions, whether native or not, and just how were you able to, move forward in those companionships?
Jesus. And yeah,
Valid.
Always the answer.
It's valid.
I think, yeah, I definitely had some really, really difficult moments, a couple difficult companions. And I think it probably not.
One's in the room right now.
No.
The MTC.
MTC companion.
But I think this probably isn't very good, but I had like that kind of mindset that was just 6 weeks. You know what I mean? And it helped me I feel like it wasn't more like an enduring thing, but it was just helped me with patience.
Yeah.
You know
Did
what
you
I
ever
mean?
hit a companion with "You're just another 6 weeks to me"?
I did not.
Isn't that a horrible thing to do?
Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
never said that, no. I
Good
think
for
it
you.
is, maybe a couple times.
Yeah. See? I'm
Some
not.
of us are just bold enough to say it, right?
Yeah, you can say that.
So okay, so you just were
Hilarious.
like, I gotta get through this somehow. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, 6 weeks. You just tell yourself you gotta grit your teeth a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question about just goal setting in general. Throughout all missions, we'll set a lot of goals throughout the day, for the week, transfers. How did you kind of adjust to setting so many goals in the mission?
I think that one was kind of easy because when we first got there, we had like expectations in my mission. So it was like we had to find 14 people every week. We had to have 7 lessons with members every week. We had to put 7 people on baptismal day every week. And so it was just kind of like expectations.
It's that way in Denver
Wait,
too.
7
Like
people on
these-
date every week?
It didn't happen.
Okay, but
So
that was
don't worry. But yeah, we had like expectations. And so I feel like when I got there, it was just kind of like, it wasn't a goal that I had chose. It was just kind of something that I kind of had to do. But I feel like that helped me later on when they dropped that and we actually were able to make our own goals. It helped me to kind of keep my expectations high and know that I could do more. And so, yeah, I think it was interesting trying to like come up with my own goals as far as like my personal like progression. But other than that, like the mission goals, I feel like it was pretty easy because they just kind of had them.
for you.
Yeah.
Well, so my question, you're talking about like these expectations. Was it discouraging not hitting them though?
Sometimes, but I feel like we just kind of tried to hit them. With like the baptismal
That's fair.
day
You
ones.
guys, just did work. So
Yeah, so we worked hard, but the baptismal day, it's hard because the goals have nothing to do with you as a missionary. As long as you're putting in like your work and you're doing what you can, it has nothing to do with you because everything is up to the people in their agency. Because you can invite 1 million people to church, but if nobody comes, that's not your fault. And so I feel like with the baptismal day one especially, we can't do anything about that. You can do it in the spirit, you can do what you can, but you can't force them. And so
when they're ready.
when we didn't make it, it was just kind of like, okay, we did our best, and that's all.
Well, and I guess, I mean, there's just a huge difference between like just putting somebody on baptismal day and them actually like in like their intent to be baptized.
Sure.
Like, I feel like in Baltimore, when I was in Baltimore, you could put probably a lot of people. You could ask a lot of people a day, like, hey, do you want to get baptized? And they'd be like, yeah, I love Jesus. Let's do it. But there's like no merit behind that. There's no like,
hey, do you want to pay
anything
10%
behind
of your income for the rest of your
Yeah,
life? It's a
there's
little bit
like-
different.
There's
Whoa.
nothing- there's
It's a little
nothing-
bit different.
Hey, now.
Didn't know about that.
Right.
But anyways, like, yeah, I think that the goal setting is important because we just talked to our last interviewee and he kind of hit it right on the head too. But how would you approach goal setting? Like, what advice would you give to somebody going to Guatemala? Like, hey, this is how you should approach goal setting in Guatemala. Because I feel like it is a little different mission to mission too.
Yeah, I would also say like every area is different, and it takes some time just to kind of get to know like what are realistic goals. But I would say just kind of the same thing, like just do your best. Don't put too much pressure on it because it's up to like the people and their agency. But I would just say just talk to everybody because the people there are so willing to receive you in their house. And so I think if you just have that mindset of just like people, not numbers, then
For sure. I like it.
It's money.
Okay, well, we're in your 5th area right now, right? Just take us through the last 4. Just tell us a little bit about what they were like, the ward, what was unique about each area.
Okay. I after being in Chile, I went to Quetzaltenango, which is in a department called Quiche.
Is there a nickname for that one?
Chichi.
Chichi.
Yes.
We can do that.
Yeah, there you
You're
go.
in Chichi.
So that one was another like small town. It's actually got like one of the biggest markets in the world there. So there was a lot of tourists. It was really hard because we didn't know how long they were going to be there for, and just like really busy. They were also really they have like Catholic, but they also have like the Mayan language, which is kind of scarier.
That's tough.
Or the Mayan religion, sorry. Did I say that?
Oh,
But they
sorry,
also
yeah.
speak Quiche.
They
so
do
do have
sacrifices and
dialects.
whatnot?
Not that I ever saw.
Okay, sick.
I'll
Yeah.
just leave it at that. So yeah, that area was kind of hard. It was another branch, again, like 15, 20 people that came to church. No support at all.
Love that.
How'd you deal with that? Just Again.
Um,
pedal to the metal, do your best.
Yeah, definitely my second Sunday, that was the first time that I actually saw the branch president. We got into it pretty good. He called us into his office. He told me I need to be more humble, more loving, and I told him that he needed to work harder, and didn't do anything, so I wouldn't recommend that. But like Ray was saying, I say just like, yeah, you just kind of have to realize that it's just you, your companion, the Holy Ghost, and the Lord, and do what you can.
Yeah. Okay. Next area.
Oh, yes.
Or unless there's something unique about this area that you want to say about. But I think the
Just
Mayan
that the
thing was
ward
pretty cool.
sucked.
So.
Yeah. After that, I went back to Weiwei in a different area. It's called Victoria. It was a ward.
We can say that one.
Yes,
like
you
that
can.
one.
Victoria, yeah.
Victoria.
And Way. I love Way.
Yeah.
And the ward was awesome there. We had so much support. And so, yeah, I was only there for one transfer as well as Chichi. And then I got moved to Kunen, which was my favorite area. That was the one that was like 6 hours away from Shayla. We were out there in the boonies, literally in the jungle all by ourselves. Our area was we had a ton of little towns, and they were each like an hour away from each other. And where we lived was one of the smaller ones. It was like 4 streets by 3 streets, and that was it. So we were just like working with like a little grid, and we were just there. I seriously love that area so much. So yeah.
Wow. And that was your last area?
That was my last area.
Okay.
Well, I guess I kind of got not emergency transferred, but they moved me to Shayla.
You had 2 ETs.
Last, like, week. It wasn't ET.
Okay.
Last week.
I say you were trouble, bro.
And
Wow.
yeah, I went back to Shayla. I
Nice.
was not trouble.
Last week?
I was an angel.
Oh. After telling the branch president that he needed to humble himself or work harder.
Everybody makes mistakes.
That's true. Yeah, you
Fair
told
enough.
the branch president he was another 6 weeks, huh?
Yeah.
Listen, buddy.
Prez.
I'll be out of here soon.
So how did you guys do, this is related but unrelated, how did you guys do district councils? And for those of you who don't know, district councils are essentially people in your district who are missionaries in close proximity most of the time to each other. They get together once a week to do exactly that. They counsel, they talk about finding methods, study methods, whatever they want to talk about. But you guys being so far apart and walking, how did you guys do district councils or zone conferences or anything like that?
So usually the areas were close enough together that you could get there. You take a bus or take an Uber, and we would do it in person. My last 2 areas were kind of further apart. Usually our rule with like the mission was if it was within an hour, you could do it in person. If it was further than an hour, then you would do it over Zoom, like video calls. So in my last area, we did it sometimes in person and sometimes over video call. What we would do is we would like move our P-Day to have it from 11 to 9, and we would do district council in the morning on P-Day, so we wouldn't lose extra time.
Nice. Yeah,
That's
that
sick.
is nice.
Tell us about transfer day, too. How did that work? I think Denver was the best for transfer days because, like I said, the whole mission, like up, down, left, right, it's all 1 hour. And so transfer days, we all met like one building, and it's just like seeing all your boys and your buddies and stuff. So probably not like that in Guatemala. Okay, yeah.
No. So when we like got transfer news,
It's on the stolen buses.
Yeah.
no,
Flipping
literally.
around.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, when we got transfer news, they just sent like a picture of like the whole mission, the areas, the zones, and you just found yourself on there. And so you would just find your face next to your companion, what area you were in, and that's how we kind of figured it out. As far as transfer days go, you pack up your stuff and you head to like a terminal, which seriously is the craziest thing ever. Like you have to go to a terminal if you're in Guatemala because it's just a bunch of buses. They all would not pass an emissions test here, and they're just revving, and the helpers are just like screaming where they're going. They're just like, wait, and just like yelling, like seriously everywhere. And there's just a bunch of white people just there with like all their suitcases, and all the missionaries are just there in like one group. And all of these helpers just come up to you and they start grabbing your suitcases and they start running them over to buses, and you're like, don't take that, I need that. And so you just have to like kind of wait for your group, and you just get on a bus and hope that your stuff all makes it on the top. And then when you get there, you hope that it all comes off, and then you get on the next bus or you figure out where your area is. It is seriously insane. It's like a traumatizing
Wild.
experience the first
Sounds
time.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
that
you ever
sounds
lose
awful,
anything?
Honestly.
I didn't.
Okay.
Wow.
Was
Yeah.
it common though?
It was.
Did your 30 toothbrushes last you the whole thing? Or?
I
She ended up
actually-
giving some of those away.
I did.
Anyway, okay, so nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
The used ones. You were like,
Oh.
hey, here you go.
I'm done with this.
You want this? There's no toothbrushes in Guatemala, so
Different
that's such a
brands.
weird. I mean, kudos to you. I feel like that's something like, obviously, like toothbrush. Like
Dot it
can't
out,
stand.
you know?
Yeah, I can't
Uh-huh.
stand like not brushing my teeth.
Right.
So like that's just funny that you just thought like 30 toothbrushes, not like oh 30 of this. It's like I need 30 toothbrushes for this trip.
Yeah, it was mostly my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, which I
That
kind
makes
of liked because I didn't have to worry about buying anything. I just knew I
Fair.
had it, and so
Yeah,
my suitcase
fair.
just kind of got lighter.
Ah.
Aside from
yeah.
the stuff that I was also buying to take home.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah,
That's good. So, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. So, you seem like a pretty like happy-go-lucky kind of person, which I'm sure is very helpful for.
It's not.
Yeah, no, actually, I thought you were miserable, bro. I can't lie. But no, like I said, so you just seem like happy, like really positive on a mission. I mean, I'm pretty confident in saying that like that's important for like a mission in Guatemala. Was there any like companions that really did test you and really were hard to work with, and how did you get through that?
Oh yeah.
And were you somebody, like, before the mission, were you somebody that was used to having hard conversations, like you could sit down and make things work, or is that like another thing you had to learn out in the field?
Mm-hmm.
Well, being the oldest of, how many do you have now? 4
Yeah,
siblings?
4
Four other
siblings.
siblings? Yeah, I'm sure you
Uh-huh.
had some of those hard conversations growing up.
Yeah, those conversations kind of got mixed with like punches and
Yeah.
words. And
With
so
comps?
that-
No.
Oh,
with my
okay.
siblings. With my siblings. It got close once. I do remember.
No juegues conmigo, chica!
Whoa.
No, exactly.
I know that language, bro.
They were that?
See.
No, but yeah, there was definitely some hard companions. I would say I'm not a very confrontational person, and so I don't really like having like hard conversations. And so that was definitely something that I had to learn. If someone came up to me and like wanted to talk to me, like, okay, you can talk to me, that's fine. But I would not go out of my way to like look for those conversations. And I feel like that's kind of what happened mostly on my mission is they would come up to me. Like I was just kind of like, everything's fine until they told me that it wasn't. And then I was like,
Until you suck and that you gotta work on.
yeah. I actually had a companion that told me that she hated me. So
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
That's good.
Oh, that's crazy. I actually never had that. Yeah, I guess I'm just like a better comp.
I guess so.
You're just another 6 weeks to me.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
that was a heavy
hilarious.
hitter though.
So how did you, so now you're at the end of your mission, you're looking back on all your, your last 18 months. How did your testimony grow? Just like from opening your call all the way to this point in your mission. How did it grow? How did you see your change in yourself?
Okay, that's a good question actually. I think one of the biggest thing actually came from like my hard companions and just knowing that like God had a plan. Because there was one that was really, really hard for me. I thought that we did a transfer together. I actually trained her, and that was really hard because I felt like I was like failing as her mother. You know what I mean? And so it was really hard. But at the end of like the transfer, I was like, I do not want to be with her anymore. Like, get her away from me. I don't care if she hates me for the rest of her mission, for the rest of her life. Like, I don't want to see her again. And then I got transfer news and stayed together.
Yes.
obviously.
Perfect.
And so I feel like for me, like my plan was like just to never see her again. Like I didn't care. Like we would both be better off like without each other. But then at the end of our second transfer, like I seriously love her like so much, and she loves me. Like when I saw her, when I went back to Guatemala, she just started sobbing, and she was like, "I just love you so much." And so it was really interesting, and my testimony grew so much in the plan that God has for us. Also, learning to love people that is so different from you really shows you the love that the Lord has like for everybody.
For sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, with that, coming home, you've only been home 3 weeks, but what are some things that you feel like you learned, I want to say exclusively in Central America, Guatemala, that, about the gospel and about being a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and how do you feel like you can apply those in the U.S. when it's a little bit different?
Yeah. Okay. Something that I really like and I learned a lot was the people that are so faithful, whether they're of our faith or of a different faith, they are so faithful. They always talk about God.
Yeah.
Always. Like they find a way to fit in any conversation. And so I think that was something beautiful that I learned, that he fits in anywhere. Like anywhere Jesus fits. And so I think I learned that, and just their faith. Like whenever they had a trial, it was just the Lord will provide, the Lord will fix it, like the Lord. And so I think that like showed a lot. Obviously, it was not like perfect. Like there were people that we'd be like, come to church with us, and they would be like, no, and like they wouldn't come, and like definitely they weren't following up with like the invitations that we had given them sometimes. But they were very faithful, and I saw some people that made amazing sacrifices to be able to be part of the Lord's church. And so I think that's something that I really took away, is that the Lord is welcome everywhere. He's in charge of everything, and we can always find a way to like put him in there.
I love it.
So, if you could give advice to someone that's about to serve in Guatemala, or advice to yourself 18 months ago, what would that be?
Bring a raincoat.
And a raincoat.
No.
You heard it here.
I would say just prepare to love the people and just to feel so loved, because if you're in their house for more than 20 minutes, they are giving you like a drink or some kind of food. And I would also say prepare yourself to eat a lot, and a lot of questionable things.
Okay. So
Like
that-
blended beans. Or does it get
Like
worse?
blended
It gets
beans.
worse?
That's
It gets
Not the
worse.
whole
Okay.
bean.
not the whole bean. Good segue into the last question before we kind of open it up to you if you have anything left. But just give us one crazy story from your time in Guatemala.
One crazy
Whatever comes to your mind.
story.
Like, what's the craziest thing that you ever had to go through?
I think the craziest thing as far as like the typical what everyone wants to hear was in my second transfer. I was still with my trainer and I didn't speak very much Spanish. And our area was kind of a little sketchier. There's what they call bolos, which are the people that just like drink. Like they're not technically homeless, but you always see them in the street and they're just always wasted.
It's just their playground.
Yeah,
It's just the playground.
No, I'm serious. They're everywhere. And
They're not quite homeless, but they're pretty much
choose
homeless.
to
They
They
live in
have
the
a home.
street.
they do, but they just choose.
They
like,
choose not to.
That's
Yeah.
wild. Okay,
Like
sorry.
they just can't make
Why
that
drink in the crib
They
when you
can't
can
make it.
drink in the street, though?
Street
Yes.
though.
Stamp
In the
it.
dirt.
They're
I
made
mean,
by the
there's definitely-
streets.
Yeah.
Bolos.
There's definitely some that are homeless, but
Okay, so
it's
some
not like
are.
like here. There's homeless people everywhere, but it's just a different like.
Are the
they're
homeless
just
bolos like
gone.
mad at like the non-homeless bolos?
Probably. I don't know. I never
There's
got
a
into
divide.
the
Divide,
yeah.
politics,
Yeah.
but
Because they're all like, oh, we're all bolos. It's like, we're not bolos, bro. Because after
Stop doing
after we
that.
sober
Hey,
up,
bro,
you gotta
hey,
go
bro,
home.
I got a home.
After we sober up, you gotta be under a roof. Sorry.
no, you're good. So, anyways, there was a couple that we would see all the time. It was like this lady and her boyfriend, and I actually saw him like kind of abuse her a couple times, and I was like,
Sick, dude.
I wanted to save her. I was like, I need to save this lady. And so, anyways,
Can I ask a question real quick?
yeah,
So once again in Ecuador, my brother served. The average dude was like 5'4".
uh-huh,
Same in Guatemala or no?
yeah, they were.
Could
about
you
the
have
same
rocked
as
this
me.
boyfriend?
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
think you actually could have?
yeah.
You could have messed him up.
Again, oldest of 5 with
Yeah.
2 brothers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because of that.
definitely.
Nice.
No, but yeah. So we were walking down the street, and they were on like a different corner, and we actually like needed to go left. So we turned the corner, and I watched. My mom always taught me to like be watching, just always be on guard. And he came up, like they came up behind us, and in Guatemala the sidewalks are like 3 feet high, and so we were like, we were like walking.
Curb stomped on that, bro. That'd be crazy.
Perfect curve stomping position.
Yes, that's crazy.
But anyway, so we had turned the corner, and the lady comes up and was like, "Give me your book," because we always walked with the Book of Mormon in our hand. So she grabs the Book of Mormon and she sits on the curb, and my companion is like, perfect teaching moment, like she's chosen. And so she goes up, she's like, "This is the Book of Mormon," and I was standing there like, "What?" And on the corner, her boyfriend came around, and he was like standing up against the wall, and he was watching us, and I was like, something ain't right here. And so slowly he came up, and I watched as like the street kind of got emptier, and I was like, oh boy. And I told my companion, like, we gotta go. And she was like, and this is Mosiah. And I was like, we gotta go. And the guy was walking closer, and he ended up, as he was walking, he kind of lifted his shirt up, and I saw like in his
Oh, yeah.
pocket, I was like, that is a gun.
It's a blicky.
Yep.
And so I was
Bolo got the
like,
blicky.
Yeah.
Bolo blicky. Bolo 9.
Anyways, I was kind of horrified. And so I look at my companion, I'm like, we seriously need to leave. And she
Yeah.
was just like, still teaching.
Oh,
And so
boy.
me and like my broken Spanish, I was like,
Wow.
sorry guys. Like,
Wait,
we gotta
where
go.
was your comp from?
Idaho.
Okay,
Oh,
wow.
This was like your first area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And so
What part of Idaho?
Idaho Falls.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. No, southeastern Idaho, they just,
Makes
that makes sense.
yeah.
Because he's from Rigby.
Yeah.
I am
so,
from Rigby,
so
alright.
that's he knows about that. So anyway, he pulls up,
Uh-huh. So
and you're like, "We gotta go."
yeah, I told her, I'm like, we gotta go. And I could see as he was like leaning forward, kind of checking out my like bag. And I was like, this is not a good situation. And so in like broken Spanish, I was like, all right, like we gotta go. And so we kind of left like running. I was like, we gotta get out of here. So that was like one of the couple times. One time I swear we met someone who he was actually from here. He spoke English, and I think he was running from the law. And so he was hiding out in Guatemala. There was a
Oh,
couple interesting experiences, but I feel like that was probably like one of the scariest ones.
Yeah. Getting a gun almost pulled on you.
Almost.
You probably would have if.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything else before we wrap up that you want to get off your chest or that we didn't touch on that you're like, I actually wanted to say this just before we close?
I really don't think so.
Okay. So we did a good job, fellas.
That was
Asked
fun.
all the right questions. All right. Well, this concludes yet another episode of the Go&Do podcast, episode 8. So I really hope that everybody was able to listen to some of Jenika's experiences and stories, because she was a great missionary. I had the opportunity to go over to her parents' house a few times while she was on her mission, and her parents just would go on and on about how great of a missionary Jenika was and how great of a person she was at the end of the day, which is even more important. And so, to conclude this episode, like Jenika went and did in
Quetzaltenango.
Guatemala.
Quetzaltenango.
Quetzaltenango,
Quetzaltenango.
Sheila, whatever you want to call it.
Shayla.
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 As she went and did, you too shall go and do. Thanks, guys.
That's a wrap.